Hey guys, okay, take two. Hopefully this works this time. I got all like frazzled because I wasn't even sure if the Wi-Fi was working last time, so I apologize. So, if you're hopping on, be sure to comment below and let me know that you're watching just so I know that I'm talking to somebody. So as I was saying, I have been dealing with an extremely fussy baby, like an extremely fussy baby, and I'm totally sleep deprived. And Mike actually took him for a drive right now because you can seriously hear him crying down the hall. Mike's trying everything. Hey, Laura. Mike's trying everything to console him, and he's just inconsolable right now. And yes, I've tried everything to try and soothe him. So thank you guys so much for the tips on how to deal with a colicky baby. Hi, Allison. Hi, Sabrina. Here I am trying this again. I meant to do this within the last couple of weeks, but figured it was already time. But yeah, if you guys have any idea if elevation helps with colicky babies, because a couple days ago I was at my parents' place 2 hours north of Phoenix. Hi, Andrew. Hi, Jordan. Make sure you say hi below so I can see who's joining. But anyways, I was up with my parents in Prescott, which is a high elevation, 2 hours north of Phoenix, and noticed that he was really happy up there for a couple days and barely any meltdowns. And then the moment he came back down here to Phoenix and taking him out of the car seat, hi, Chris, he had an immediate meltdown, like for 2 hours, and then I barely got any sleep. Hi, Corey. And then today, this morning, like 3 hours straight, and still he's been crying nonstop. Just totally inconsolable today. And I'm sure that's maybe normal for babies, but just curious if you guys know if elevation makes a difference with colicky babies. But anyways, I wanted to give you guys a couple of new book ideas that I just picked up, and then I'm going to tell you my big news. I'm so excited to share it. Hi, Ashley. And so this one, I'm so excited to read. My coaches have been reading this book, and they can't stop raving about it. It really talks about how we need to be giving value to people before we can ever expect to receive anything in return. And so I'm really excited to read this book. I heard that every paragraph you read, you just want to scream from the mountaintops. Those are my kind of books, so I'm really excited about it. And then Eat That Frog. I suck at time management, like hardcore. I'm the biggest procrastinator in the world, and so I need help managing my time. Hi Jenna, hi Kristen. I tell all of my coaches to pick up this book because a lot of us have trouble with time management. A lot of us are busy. Everyone's busy. Hi Megan. And so I highly suggest this book. I'm about to dive into it. I've heard nothing but good things. So I just wanted to give you my 2 new books to check out, because you know how much I love personal development now. I never used to. So, but anyways, my big news, I'm going to talk to you in a little bit about it. But first I want to go over kind of what led up to my news. So first I want to ask you, and this is a question that I had to ask myself before I was able to experience this huge life change. What would you like your life to look like if you knew that you could not fail at something? Sorry, it says I have poor connection. In 2 to 3 years, what would you want your life to look like if you knew that you could not fail at something? And I give you permission to dream big. And I want you to post below. Honestly, tell me what your life would look like if it was limitless. You know, limitless potential. Dream big and post below. For me, I wanted to pay off my student loans. I wanted to travel more. I wanted to have more freedom with my future family. And to me, that was extremely, extremely important to me. I just was sick of living paycheck to paycheck. I was sick of living in debt, and I knew that something needed to be done. And I knew that I couldn't just keep, working my full-time job because I was just making enough to pay the bills. And a big part of me was afraid to create a life of financial freedom because I was afraid of rejection and I was afraid of failing. I think those are the 2 top reasons why people don't go after something. They don't go after their dreams. They don't try something new, is because they're afraid of rejection and they're afraid of failure. When really, if you think about it, rejection is purely perception. and your perception of what really is not true. And then failure truly is when we give up, on something. Failure, in my eyes, is not actually something that happens until someone gives up. And so for me, I was nervous of those things, but I knew that I had to put the fear aside, regardless of it being there, and just go for it. And in my life, you know that that's coaching. You guys always see me post about Beachbody coaching. It has become the biggest part of my life. And it's so funny because before I started, I was Beachbody's biggest naysayer. So for all of you who I invite to the coaching opportunity and I invite to the challenge groups and you're like, no, not for me. I was that person 2 years ago. I was like, yeah, no, not my thing. And I was like, that's a scam, like, yuck. Like, who wants to be like that cult? You know, I was that biggest naysayer ever. And so I want to tell you my misconceptions that I had and my fears and hesitancies that I had before jumping into this business that has ultimately changed my life. Before I started coaching, I was looking at people who were successful in the business. Hey, Melody. And I thought, this is way too good to be true. Like, how can they be going on all those trips? How can they be making 40 grand a month? How can they be making 1 grand a month? Like, how is this possible that people are really, like, actually living their dream through through fitness and health? I just didn't really understand the whole concept. I was like, that's too good to be true. Like, I could never do that. Obviously, looking back, I didn't have the belief in myself, just like a lot of us don't, sadly. A lot of us lack that confidence, and that's normal. But and so my misconceptions early on that stopped me from going into coaching for a good year almost was I felt like I was going to be a salesperson. I was nervous that I was going to annoy people on my social media and that I didn't have any value to give. I was nervous that I was going to look like that. And I'm sorry if there's any It Works people on here, but I was nervous to post like It Works, and a lot of people post, kind of salesy with that, and I was just nervous. But there's some people who really know how to give value, and those are the people that I followed long before I went into Beachbody. And so I was like, okay, there is a way that I can make this not salesy. And so for me, I wanted to give value to people. I wanted to help people. And so when I went into this, I was like, I'm not going to be a salesperson. I know that anything I post is up to me. I'm going to view this as a day in the life of Brooke, and I'm going to share about what's working for me, what I'm struggling with, and my successes, and I'm going to share about it. And you know what? If no one jumps on board with me in that moment, that's okay. They'll join on later on, and that's exactly what's been happening. People join because they are inspired, because they know that I'm going to be there for them, and they know that they can mess up and I'm not going to judge them for it. And so that's what I wanted to do, was really help people, but I was really afraid of being a salesperson or coming across icky. I was also nervous that I was going to be too fit. I know that sounds really weird because a lot of you guys are like, I feel like I'm not fit enough. I feel like I need to lose all my weight first and get really toned before I can be a coach. Where I was like, I'm the girl with the six-pack. Like, who's going to relate to that? Honestly, not to say that to brag. I'm really being serious. I thought, that maybe people would want to join because maybe they thought I knew what I was talking about. But really, I thought I was going to be too fit and that people weren't going to relate to me. But then I found out shortly that there's someone that you can relate to all the time. Like, when you share your story, there is someone out there who is going to relate to you and who is going to be so inspired by your personal story. Whether or not you have 50 pounds to lose, 100 pounds to lose, no weight to lose like me, and just wanted to tone up and get healthy and gain confidence. And that's what I wanted to work on. And so I strive every day to help everybody, but I connect best with people who want to gain their confidence and their energy. And so know that you do not have to have your goal weight met. You can be really fit and do this. And then my other concern was expense. Before I went into this business, I had this mindset of, it's really expensive. I looked at the small picture versus the big picture. At the time, my husband was unemployed, and we were living off of my one income. My student loan debt had just started piling on top of us, which was going to be about $500 a month. And to me, that was very scary because financially I was like, I don't know how I can afford this $140 challenge pack, a workout program with Shakeology. And And it really stopped me. It paralyzed me. It made me so fearful to invest that money in Beachbody and to become a coach, because I looked at my circumstances and I was like, oh, there's no way I can do that, because I mean, we're living really close to paycheck. I gotta watch myself. But then when I switched my mindset, and I soon realized, how can I not afford this? Like, how can I not afford this opportunity? I knew that if I didn't give this a try, things were gonna stay the same. You know, like if I want things to change and I want things to get better and I'm sick of the way I'm living life financially, why wouldn't I dive into this opportunity? What do I have to lose? Why not just give it a try and see what it's all about? You know, regardless of my fear, regardless of my hesitancies. And for me, what really did it for me was when I looked at the daily cost. You know, I looked at that $140, that small picture, and I broke it down to the big picture. And I said, well, that's about $4 a day. I can do that. And that's replacing a meal too. So really it's like 66 cents on top of my budget to be able to do a workout program, Shakeology, and build a business that has allowed me to build a full-time income with 1 year. Obviously that took my consistency and hard work over time, but that's what it's allowed me to do. So those were my misconceptions. I want you to post your fears below, your misconceptions, maybe some doubts that you have about coaching that I can answer through private message later on. I'd love to help you with that. But my story leading up to that, up to my big news. Like I said, we were living off of my one income. Mike was not employed. My student loans had started piling up, and I was really nervous. I got that first bill, that first student loan bill in the mail, and I know like a lot of you guys are thinking, oh my gosh, like I might as well accept the fact that I'm going to pay this off for the rest of my life. And that's kind of what I did at first. I was like, this is going to be my life for the next 10 years, paying $500 a month, and that's just going to be it. And I was even telling Mike, I was like, what's the point? It's like, we might as well just make minimum payments on this thing and just enjoy life. Like, let's just not even pay towards the principal, basically, and just keep this thing going forever. And honestly, that's what I did for a couple months. I paid minimum payments and then realized that I wasn't paying anything towards principal. I was just paying towards interest. And so literally, my student loans stayed here. They never went down, yet I paid like $2,000 into them. It was sick. It made me want to throw up. And I was so mad. I was mad at the system, mad at myself, and realized that I needed to have a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. Because at that time, I knew that I had a fixed mindset and that I needed to grow and change my thinking in order to change and get out of this debt. And so, to me, that's why I dove into Beachbody, is because this student loan debt was drowning me. And I did not want to live under this rain cloud forever, for the next 10 years especially. And I know a lot of you guys have debt, for the next 25 years. If you feel comfortable, post below what your debt is. I mean, mine was 50 grand when I started. And it's just very daunting. And the loan companies make it very impossible for you to pay this off. I mean, the interest is just through the roof. It's ridiculous. And I think Mike actually had to fight to get us to be able to pay it off completely. Like if we had received 50 grand magically, or if we had 50 grand in the bank, he had to fight so that we would be able to pay that off completely and not be penalized or not be forced to make those payments in chunks. As weird as that is. I must have had a really bad loan company. But so that's why I started Beachbody originally. And of course my goals have changed with this baby coming and everything. However, in 1 year and 8 months, I have paid off all of my student loans, all $50,000 of my student loan debt, almost like 9 years earlier. And I'm just like freaking out about it, because to think that I was ever hesitant to jump into this opportunity, and knowing that like if I didn't jump into this wouldn't be happening right now, because me and Mike's financial means just wouldn't have allowed that. And so this just has been an absolute saving grace for me. Being able to pay off $50,000 in 1 year and 8 months is unreal. It's unfathomable. And so literally when people tell me or complain about their student loan debt when I'm talking to them in private message, or they're complaining about how they don't make enough money on their Facebook statuses, I'm seriously like, hello, get on board with this. Give it a try. If it doesn't work for you, that's okay. If it works for you, freaking awesome. It's going to change your life. And then I'm not the only person to go through this. I have so many girls on my team that are creating financial freedom for themselves. They're making this a full-time thing. They're able to stay home with their kids more. And that's my next goal, to be able to stay home with Easton more. And I just can't not share this opportunity with you guys, because it would be absolutely selfish if I did not. And I just have to scream from the rooftops. I'm so passionate about it because, I mean, I know it can really help everybody. Honestly, the main personality traits that I look for in a coach is to be self-motivated, to be positive, to be hardworking, and have good people skills, want to help people in addition to wanting to help yourself, knowing that it's okay to want to make extra money if what you're doing to make that money is out of a pure heart and a genuine heart. There is nothing wrong with that. And I want you guys to know that, to never feel guilty for wanting to make more money. Never feel guilty for trying to live a life to gain financial freedom, because I know that's what a lot of coaches are worried about. They're like, oh, I'm afraid to piss people off, or I'm afraid that people are going to think I'm in this for the money. It's like, you know what? You're here to help people, but you're also here to help your family. And so don't ever be ashamed of that. You are on this mission to help people change their lives, in addition, helping your life. So don't ever feel guilty, please. I'm begging you. And so I wanted to share that with you guys because I can't believe it. My husband called me yesterday and he told me he had really good news and that we were able to throw money at those student loans and just get rid of it. I about cried just because I think back to how I was the biggest naysayer with Beachbody, how I had the most misconceptions probably out of anybody. I mean, ask Allison, one of my best friends and my upline coach. I had failed her in the past when I became a coach back in 2012. I fizzled out of the business because I had the wrong mindset. I did not believe in myself. I did not see the potential in myself and what this business had to offer. And so I am so glad to be back here today to give this a chance. I'm in this for the long run. Know that if you join on with me, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to stay, and I hope that I proved that to you guys in the last almost 2 years now. So I've shown up every day, and that's what I ask you guys to do. If you join as a coach on my team, just show up every day. That's what people want. They want to trust you. They want to see your consistency, and that's what matters, is just showing that you're going to be there for people through even your darkest days, and that you're going to use this as a light in your life to make something better for yourself as well as others. Now, I want to remind you guys, too, that there's a health bet going on, and that starts on September 6th, and today is actually the deadline to get those orders through. On September 6th, the Beachbody is hosting a health bet, so literally you're going to get paid to work out and log your workouts and drink your Shakeology and log your the Shakeology that you drink. Literally, you're going to get a share of the pot. It's going to be anywhere between $1 million to $3 million that Beachbody is going to give anybody that sticks with their goals this upcoming month from September to October. So that's pretty awesome, because if you stick with your goals and you log your workouts and your Shakeology every day, I think it's like 5 times a week for Shakeology, 3 times a week for the workouts. Anybody can do that, right? And those who fall off the wagon, that just means more money for us people who are staying consistent, right? So make sure you message me if you want to jump on board with this, and I'd love to get you started. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to this live video. I always get so nervous when I do these things. I don't know why, but then once I start talking, it gets better. So I urge you to try this out. It's really fun. But say hi below. Message me any questions that you guys have about the health bet or coaching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.